Hi students, welcome to COM 110 Digital Literacy. My name is Wendy Williams and I'm your instructor, and this is a tour of our course site. I'm starting with a webcam view of myself so that you can see my face and feel like you've gotten to know me a little bit, and then I'm going to hide that so that it doesn't interfere with your view of the course site itself. So when you first sign in, you'll see you're on our announcements page. If you scroll down, you can see any announcements. I'm signing them usually just because I'm also going to email them to you. And when we email each other, I want us to use a greeting and a signature. But normally, when you're within the Blackboard site, you don't need to sign things because Blackboard will sign it for you. You'll see that Blackboard wants to call me Sarah, but I actually go by my middle name, Wendy, so it's Wendy Williams. Don't get confused and think that's two separate people. So if you want to get an overview, start with calendar and syllabus. And if you click on this top version of the calendar, it's kind of an interactive syllabus and will show you generally what the units are that we'll cover, the dates that they'll include, something about the topic, an overview of the reading, and a thumbnail of what activity is expected of you during that unit. You can tell the due dates of things by looking at the dates here. So for example, Unit 2 ends on June 8th. That means the final due date is midnight Eastern Time on June 8th. Some of these links are live and will take you to the reading. And for some of the readings, you'll need library access. They'll be on Course Reserve. So make sure that you very quickly figure out how to access the Newman Library with your unique password. You can print out that calendar by clicking on this PDF version, and here's the syllabus. I encourage you to really read every single word of that. I've tried to anticipate questions and give you a lot of information here, including the grading, which you can tell by what things are worth, how much energy I expect you to expend on that particular unit. Final project is worth a lot more than a regular unit. I've also told you something about how often to log in, how to communicate with me, something about grading practices, and how to get the most out of your weekly discussion, something about how to approach the readings, an outline of what we'll cover in each unit and some of the readings, and policies. So I really encourage you to not only read all of that, but also print it out. Now, that's the overview. To find out what's coming up each week, you'll go to the assignments page, and each time there's a new unit, I have it set up to roll out the folder for that unit. The only thing here so far is the overview, so you can click on that to see generally the types of assignments that we're going to have this semester, and something about an ongoing assignment. Another ongoing assignment is going to be the blog. We'll have a class blog. It's going to be fun, and you'll find articles and ideas and videos and things that you're working on or interested in the paper or online, and write about it up 5 times this semester at your own pace beginning next week. So that's the class blog, and I'll have a blog as well. The discussion board is kind of the heart of the course, and that's where you'll go to write about whatever we're reading that week. The first discussion is going to be introductions. I've posted something about myself, and I want you to post about yourself and to respond to some of what classmates are writing. In each discussion board forum, I'd like you to respond to at least a couple of your classmates, and the more interactive you are, the more interesting each discussion will be. There's also a questions forum, and I really encourage you to ask your questions there. You can email me if it's personal, but for most of your questions, I think if you ask them here, your classmates can benefit from my answer. I'm subscribed to that forum, and I encourage you to also. So whenever anybody asks a question here, I'll get an email, I'll go in here and answer it. And if you're subscribed, you'll you'll get an email and know that a question has been asked and answered, and maybe it's something you were wondering about as well. Extras, tips, videos is where I'll post some additional information that may be of interest, so check this often. Instructor info is a little bit more about me. There's my picture, my email address. Email is the best way to reach me. I'm also available by Skype as needed by appointment. And here's something about me, a little bio. Here's the link to the Q&A forum. And tools is a really useful area. It's got your link to your grades, to a roster if you want to see who's in the class. Send email allows you to email anyone, including me, through Blackboard. So there's a lot here that I think you'll find useful. Check that out. We're going to be having group work, and when we do, you won't really only be able to work at your own pace. You'll need to be a little more checking in regularly. Even though all of our work will be done asynchronously, meaning not in real time, you'll post something, someone will go in later and respond, I'll grade it later. You do kind of have to check in at whatever time is convenient for you, almost every day. So keep that in mind through this semester, and especially as we approach group assignments like the final group assignment. That's the overview, and I hope it gets you excited about exploring yourself. Click on everything, introduce yourself on the introductions forum, and get ready for an exciting semester. I'm really looking forward to getting to know everybody. So, time to get started.